Finding the equation of a line from a graph. So I'm just going to make sure you can see that these numbers on here, that is -5 and 5 on that one. So we're going to find the equation of this line. Now the basic formula for the equation is y equals mx plus b. Now m equals the gradient, which is the rise on the run. And if it's going that way, it has a positive gradient. If it's going that way, it will have a negative gradient. And b is the y-intercept. Now the y-intercept is where it cuts the y-axis. Okay, so we have to find both of these things in this formula. So the gradient is the rise on the run, and then we have the y-intercept, which is the b. So on the graph, the y-intercept is that 5 there. So that means that b will actually equal 5, because that's where it cuts the y-axis. Now, the actual gradient, so the gradient is the rise over the run. So when you're looking at this, it rises up 5, so the rise is 5, and the run, if you look at the run is coming across there, the run is also 5. Now you do not need the -5, because the -5 just gives you the sign. See, it wouldn't matter where you drew your triangle, it'll always be 5 over 5. Even if you draw a little one, it'll be 1 over 1. The gradient is just 1. So now I have two things. I have my y-intercept and I have my gradient. So the gradient is 1x plus 5. See, that models that formula, mx plus 5. So the number in front of the x is the gradient, and the other constant number, that is your y-intercept. Okay, and that's where it cuts the y-axis, which is 5. Right, so first of all, we're going to find the gradient. So the gradient is the rise over the run. So the rise is 6, and the run is out there, so that would be 3. So 6 over 3 will equal 2. So that means the gradient equals 2. The y-intercept is where it cuts the y-axis. If you look at this, it is going to be 6. So the y-intercept equals 6. Now the equation, that's going to be b. The y-intercept is b. Y equals mx plus 6. So that's the y-intercept. That's going to go in place of the 6. And the gradient, which is the 2, has to go in place of the m. So put it all into this equation. Y equals m, which is 2, times the x, plus the y-intercept, which is the 6, because that's where it cuts the axis. Now, there's one little mistake that I've made here. I don't know if you picked up on it yet, but it's got to do with the gradient. This gradient here is going down. You can make an n out of it, so it's actually negative. So when we come back up to here, we just miss that this 2 is a negative, and that will just affect the gradient of this line. So the gradient is -2 because it's sloping down, so it'll be a negative gradient. The y-intercept is 6, so the equation is -2x, because it's always y equals gradient x, and then plus the y-intercept, which is 6.